We talked about the quadratic formula, and we said if we want to solve any quadratic equation, I can solve it by factoring. If it cannot be solved by factoring, I will go to the completing the square. And there's a new method, we call it a quadratic formula, that helps me to solve any quadratic equation. We say that we use this is the quadratic formula. We have to find A, B, and C, evaluate them, and find the roots of the equation. We solved many examples. Just evaluate them in A, B, and C. Did we stop here?
Yes, teacher.
Yes, teacher, we stopped here.
Yes, miss.
Did we solve it?
No,
No,
teacher,
teacher, we
we
didn't
got
solve it.
only problem.
Okay. Let's now solve this one here. What are the solutions of x squared minus 4x equal 21? So we have an x squared minus 4x equal 21. The first step, you have now to rewrite it in the standard form, which is
X to the power of 2
minus
4x
minus 21 equals 0. Just move the 21 to the other side. Then after that, here I have to find A, B, and C. A is 1, B is negative 4, C is what? Negative 21. Then x is negative b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. Yeah, where is b? It's negative
4.
Negative
Negative 4.
plus or minus square root of negative 4 squared minus 4 times, where is a? It is 1.
1.
Where is
1.
c? It's negative
Negative 21.
Negative 21.
over 2 times 1. Then 4 plus or minus negative 4 squared 16 minus 4 times negative 21, it is 84. So it is now 16 plus 84 over 2a. So I have now 4 plus or minus. What is the square root of 100, which is 16 minus 84? This one, it can be written as 100. What is the square root of 100?
10.
10.
Teacher, why you are making like
10.
2? Oh, okay, yes.
Over 2. So now I have 4 plus 10 over 2. So I have here two solutions. One is 4 plus 10 over 2, and the other one 4 minus 10 over 2. As I told you, since I have here an positive negative, so I have a positive negative. 4 plus 10 is 14 over 2, 7. And 4 minus 10 is negative 6 over 2, negative 3. So what are the roots of the equation here? 7 and what?
4 plus
7
4 plus
and
10
negative
is
3.
14. 14 divided by 3 is 7. And here, yes, negative 3. Yes. So I have two solutions, 7 and
Yeah.
negative 3.
Yeah. Is it clear?
Yes.
Teacher,
Yes.
I didn't understand how it bring negative 3.
Okay, 4 minus 10,
6.
negative 6.
Negative 6.
Over 2,
Okay.
okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, let's choose one from here. Well, I want you to choose one from it.
Number 11 or 8. One of them.
11.
11.
Yeah, okay, let's go to 11. In number 11 here, we have an 18 x squared minus 45 x minus 50 equals 0. So what is A, what is B, and what is C?
A equal 18.
18.
B
B negative 45. C
and C,
negative 50. Negative 50.
And C negative
Negative
50.
50.
yes. This is A, B, and C. Now then, what is the quadratic formula?
X equal negative B plus minus square
Plus
root
minus the root of
B
B
squared
squared
minus
minus
squared minus
4AC
4AC over
over
2A.
Thank you, over 2A. Yeah, let's evaluate now. Where is B?
X.
There's negative 45, so negative 45. Plus or minus? Where's B squared?
plus or minus.
It's
B
negative
squared is negative
45
45.
Negative 45.
squared minus 4 times A,
Times
which is
18.
18,
Times negative 50.
C
times
which
negative
is
50
50.
Over 2.
over 2 times 18.
2 times 18. Yes.
45 plus or minus. Negative 45 squared is
Negative
2025 minus 50 times 4, 200. 200 times 18 is 3060, so it comes like plus over
just not negative.
Over 30.
it's negative, it has to be positive.
No, teacher. I mean here where you are multiplying negative 4 times 18.
Okay, then after
Okay.
that minus, that's I told you. Then
Yes.
2000. So when these big numbers, I will not bring it for you at the quiz or the final, sorry. So 45 plus or minus square root of 5,625 over 36. So here, the square root of this answer is 75. This number, the square root of 5,625 is 75. Okay, so here I have two solutions now, as I said before. The first one, it is 45 plus, we say that the square root of this number is 75. So 45 plus 75 over 36, or 45 minus 75 over 36. 45 plus 75
Is 100.
20 over 36, it's 3.3. And 45 minus 75 over 36, it's negative 0.83. Now look at this one. This one you cannot solve it by factoring. It's very difficult. But by using the quadratic formula, it's very easy for me now to find the solutions, which is 3.3 and negative 0.83.
Teacher,
Yes.
in the previous lesson 9.5, and completing the square root, and we will solve it like multiplying and dividing for finding the square root of numbers.
Sorry?
Because in the previous lesson,
Okay.
the square root of some numbers will be decimal.
Yes.
Okay, so how will we solve it? And we will make division and like this? Or only for this type of questions, you will bring any numbers that can be.
Okay. And let's see if it is easy and if it is a perfect square, you have to find it. If it is no, I will write a hint for you. And the square root of 5 is 0.37.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Teacher.
All right.
Okay.
Is it clear?
Yes,
Yes.
miss.
Yes, miss.
Now. So by now, we have many methods for solving a quadratic equation. The first one is graphing. This graphing one, if you have a calculator or you can graph it by hand, you can find any solution for any equation. The square root, if the equation has no x term or if there's no b, like we said, like if it is an x squared minus 4 as an example. For this type of equation, there's no b, there's no x terms. So I will use the square root. Then I say it is an x squared equal 4, so x and positive negative 2. Factoring. Factoring, you use this way if you look at the equation and if you see that you can factor it easily, like I say, teacher, it is x minus 5 times x plus 3. If you can factor it easily, you will use a factoring way. Completing the square. In this one here, if the coefficients of x is 1, like x squared minus 14, x plus 5 as an example. If you look at it, it's not easy for you to factorize it. So look at the coefficients of x. If the coefficients of x is 1, you can using the way of completing the square that we discussed it at the morning. If the factor of it like this as an example, if the coefficients of x now is not 1, if it is 2, and it cannot be factorized using the quadratic formula.
Means teacher, if we have like 2x minus 14x and c cannot be factored in it, it's not perfect square.
Yes. If you have 2x, if you have an 1x squared, and this one here is not a perfect square, and it cannot also be factorized by using the factoring way. Okay. You can use the completing the square. But if you have, so that's mean if you have an x squared minus 4x plus 4 or plus 3 as an example. For this one, if it can be factorized, you can solve it by factorizing, and you can solve it by quadratic formula. If this one can be factorized, since it can be factorized, 2x minus 3. Wait, let me. Or No. Sorry. It's x minus 3 times x minus 1. This one, it can be factorized or solved by factoring and by the quadratic formula that we said about it today. But if there's a number like this, like number 7 as an example, this one, it cannot be factored, or it cannot be solved by factoring. I will use completing the square. Or quadratic formula. Okay. If you have now 2x squared minus 4x plus 7, it can be factored. So the two ways that you use it here, that by factoring, completing the square you cannot. Why? Because look at the coefficients of x. They told me if the coefficient of x is 1, you can use completing the square. But this is here, it's not 1. So you cannot use completing the square. You can by factoring or by the quadratic formula.
Because when I multiply 2 and 7, they will give me, 14 factors of 4.
Yes, you cannot solve it by completing the square. Now look at these examples here. Look at the first one. 3x squared minus 9. Which method or methods can be chosen to solve these equations? Look at the first one. 3x squared minus 9. How can I solve it?
The zero.
Square root. Square root.
Okay, by square root. What else? Can I use by graphing?
Yes.
Yes. And also square root. What?
Can I solve it by the quadratic formula?
Yes, we can use by graphing.
Quadratic formula.
Yes.
In this equation, I can use the square root, the graphing, and the quadratic formula.
Yes. So you can use it by the square root or by graphing or by quadratic formula. Type here.
Or factor.
X squared minus x minus 30.
X squared minus x minus 30.
Look at it. Can you factorize it? Factoring. Okay. Can you use the
we could use the square root.
Quadratic formula?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Look at the third one.
6x squared plus 13x minus 17. Yes, factoring. Because I'll multiply 17 with 6.
And if you multiply 17 with 6 and you get a factors that if you add them you get 13, you will use factoring. If not, you go to use the quadratic formula. So for this one here, you can solve it by quadratic formula, by graphing, and let's see if it can be factorized or not. Let's multiply 17 times 6.
17 times by 6
it is 102.
Yes.
So can you factorize 102 and add the pair of factors to get 13?
No, it cannot be.
No,
ma'am. It's 51 and 2. So no, so it cannot.
No, it cannot be.
It cannot be factorized. So the two methods only are quadratic formula and graphing.
Yes.
Now look at the number, the D here. In D, 2 factors. Can you factor 3? Give me a pair of factors for number 3. If you add them, you get 5.
No.
No. So you can only use quadratic formula.
Graphing.
Okay. Graphing. Can you use completing the square?
Yes, because it's 1x.
Yes.
Thank you. You can also use the completing the square. Now look at the last one here.
21 with 16.
16 times 21 It is 336.
Formula.
136.
Can you now check about
No, teacher. From the first,
them if you
because
have two numbers?
It cannot.
Them you get 50.
Cannot be.
No,
teacher.
it cannot.
Because teacher said,
Yeah, quadratic. So you can solve it by quadratic formula. You can solve it by graphing. You cannot solve it by factorizing.
Yeah.
Is it clear?
Yes.
Yes, teacher.
Yes, miss.
Let's go now to see this got here. Which methods would you choose to solve each equation? Look at A.
teacher not solve, got it too.
How we solve it? This got it too. There's a how to find. I skip it. The only
Okay.
important for you here just to find the discriminant. Now.
So no need for got it too, right?
Yes, got it 2 and problem 2.
Okay.
Now, look at A here.
Teacher,
Yes, Farah.
what's the meaning of discriminant?
Later on, we will talk about it.
Okay.
By now, I talked about the quadratic formula. Look at this one here. X squared minus 8x plus 8 plus 12. Can you now factorize it?
Yes.
Yes, 6 and 2.
Yes, we can.
Is it right?
And also we can use the quadratic formula.
So
Yes.
you can solve it by factoring and quadratic first before writing the factoring. Every equation, it can be solved by quadratic formula. Now, can it be factored? Yes, it can be factored. So by factoring. And also by graphing. Look at B now. How can we solve it?
By square root.
Can we solve it by what?
Square root.
By
Square
Square
root.
root.
Thank you. Look at C. How can you solve it?
Quadratic formula.
Quadratic
Quadratic
formula.
formula.
Thank you.
Graphing also.
Quadratic formula and
Can you solve it by factorizing?
No.
no.
Why no?
No, yeah, we can.
No,
Yes,
teacher, when
how
we
we can?
multiply 1 times by 5, 1 multiplied by 5 equals 5.
You
I mean
multiply
-5.
these two numbers, -5. What are the two factors of -5? If you multiply, add them, you get 13.
Nothing.
Nothing. Is there
Nothing.
Yehuda?
So only quadratic.
So no.
Formula.
So only quadratic formula. Okay, is it clear?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, teacher.
Yes,
Now let's talk about the discriminant. As we know before, we say that any quadratic equations have two solutions, one solution, or zero solutions. So before you solve the quadratic equation, you can look at it and know if it has one or two or zero solution. By what? By using something we called it the discriminant. What is the discriminant? Look at the quadratic equation here that we talked about. X equal -b plus or minus b squared minus 4ac over 2a. b squared minus 4ac is the discriminant. Okay? B squared minus 4ac is the discriminant.
عندي درس.
This one in Arabic we called it al-mumayyiz. Okay, that's mean it told me that أي بيميز لي إنه if this one has two solution, one solution or zero. Discriminant. It is b squared minus 4ac. Now, it tells me how many real number of solutions it can be for this quadratic equation. What does it mean? That's mean if you have any equation like x squared minus 6x plus 7, if b squared minus 4ac for it, look at it here. Where is b?
-6.
Wait, just give me 1 minute here. Now, where is b?
-6.
It's -6.
-6.
C 7.
7.
7.
A is 1.
1.
One.
Now, and let's see if b squared minus 4ac is equal to 0 or less than 0 or greater than 0. -6 squared minus 4 times 7 times 1. 36 minus 28, it's greater than 0. Is it right? The answer is greater than 0. So what does it mean? That means since if the discriminant is greater than 0, that means we have two solutions. So if the discriminant is greater than 0, I have two solutions. If you're graphing them, you will see also here you have two solutions. Now, look at the second one here. X squared minus 6x plus 9. If you find the discriminant here, you will find that it is an 0 equal to 0.
0. Yes.
If the discriminant equals 0, that means I have
One solution.
only one solution. By the way, if you factorize it here, you will see it's like this. Is it right? So that means I have one solution, which is 3. So if the discriminant equals 0, I have only one solution. But if the discriminant is less than 0, that means there's no solution. So if you solve by the quadratic formula and while you are solving, you found that the discriminant is negative, you have to stop. Tell me, teacher, there's no solution. How can I know when I stop? If you come back here, you look here, imagine that you have an instead of. Please imagine now you have here instead of this discriminant, you have a positive number. Can you find the square root of the positive number?
Yes.
Yes. If a positive number, if the discriminant is positive, so I can find the square root, so I have two solutions. If the discriminant now is 0,
One solution.
is 0, I have, yes, it is negative b plus or minus 0 over 2a. So I have one solution, which is negative b over 2a.
Yes. Yes.
But if their answer or the discriminant now is negative number, and imagine here you put a negative 7. Is there a square root for negative 7? Is there a square root for negative number?
No.
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 So I will
It's a real
stop.
number.
So I will stop and I will say there's no real solution. So then at this case, I will say Teacher, this equation cannot be solved either with the quadratic equation or with the quadratic formula. That's it?
Teacher, if it's 0, then only one solution, right?
Yes. 0, one solution. Greater than 0, there's 2 solutions, and less than 0, there's no solution.
Teacher,
Yes.
I wanted to ask, all the formula, the equations, like quadratic formula, quadratic equations and the other equations can solved by factoring, by graphing?
Yes, but not by your hand, by calculator. And sometimes some quadratic equation is very hard to draw or to graph them.
Okay.
So here, the quadratic equation. We have many ways to solve. By factor, by completing the square, by square root, and if now it cannot be for this way, for the factor and for the square, completing the square, we can use something we called it quadratic equation, our quadratic formula, sorry. Now, for this quadratic formula, it helped me to solve any type of quadratic equation, if it cannot be factored or no. But you have something to be accomplished. If this quadratic formula, if the discriminant is greater than 0 or equal 0, they told me, okay, I can factorize it for you. But if it is less than 0, she told me I cannot. So what does it mean? That means if the quadratic equation, bring it. Try to find the solution by factoring. If cannot work, use the completing square. If cannot work, use the quadratic formula. But if the quadratic formula, its discriminant is greater than 0, you can factorize it. If the quadratic form is its discriminant is 0, also I can factorize it. But if the discriminant is less than 0, I will say, خلاص, I will stop. It cannot be factorized. Is it clear?
Yes, miss.
Okay.
Yes, teacher.
But
Yes. But what?
okay, I get it now.
Okay. Now, how many real number solutions does 2x squared minus 3x equal -5? So if you look at this here, we can guess now how many solutions does this equation have. The first step, let's write it here in standard form. So the first step, write it in standard form. Plus 5 plus 5 by adding 5 to each side. Then after that, find A, B, and C. Where is A? Where is B? And where is C? A is 2, B is -3, and C is 5. Then, let's see. B squared minus 4AC. Where is B? It's -3 squared. Minus 4 times 2 times 5. -3 squared is what?
Equals 6. 9.
9. Minus 2 times 5. 10 times 4.
10.
40. 4 minus
40.
9 minus 40. -31.
Stop,
It is
teacher.
less
There's no
than
solution.
0. So is there any solution?
No, teacher.
So I will say here, there is no solution.
But Miss, 0 is greater than negative 31.
So it will be
Okay,
no
yes.
solution also.
Now, don't say negative 31 less than 0. So there's no solution. يعني if it is, don't يعني confuse. Just look, if it is a negative number, that's mean it is there's no solution for it.
Okay, Miss.
Okay, let's do now this one here. Yeah. 6x squared minus 5x equals 7. First step, write it in standard form. Then after that, يلا. Where is A?
6.
It is 6. Where is B?
Negative
Um,
5.
Where is C?
5.
Negative 7.
Negative 7.
Negative 2.
يلا then.
No,
The formula is negative b squared minus 4ac.
So B squared minus 4AC. Where is B? It's negative 5 squared
negative 5.
minus 4 times 6 times negative 7.
B squared minus 4AC
25 minus
25.
6 times negative 7.
24.
24.
I mean
42.
Negative 42.
No,
Negative 42 times 4. Negative
Negative
168.
negative 4.
So 168 plus 25 is 193, which is greater than 0. Is it right?
Yes.
Yes.
So how many solutions we have?
2.
2.
2 solutions.
Thank you.
Solution.
Two solutions.
Miss, I